I've just got back into the UK and I'm in Stansted Airport. If you want a place where the internet is almost impossible to access, come to Stansted Airport arrivals. Zarah Sultana, anyway, chose to make herself as absent as the internet here. And that, of course, is the story today in the theatre of It's Hard to Miss, a founding conference that should have been about optimism, organisation, the launch of a new left movement, instead opened under a cloud of recriminations, cold shoulders, accusations of a witch hunt. The irony is painful. This project was created precisely to escape the toxic atmosphere of Labour's internal wars, yet the first act of your party resembles a low-budget remake of precisely what its leaders claimed to have left behind. Her boycott of day one was not a quiet protest, it was a perfectly choreographed sulk. She stood outside the locked doors with expelled activists, condemned nameless, faceless bureaucrats, and framed herself as the champion of members forced to wait in the cold while the elite talked inside. It was a piece of political street theatre. The problem is that the audience was supposed to be energised supporters watching a new movement rise. Instead, they're seeing a family argument on the pavement. Sultana's anger is rooted quite reasonably in principle. She wants a movement that is radically democratic. Her vision is a party of open doors where every socialist has a home, even if they belong to another group. She believes leadership should be collective, ideas should come from below, and decisions should never be stitched up by insiders. It's a credible and compelling philosophy for a party that wishes to rebuild the British left from the grassroots upwards, but it crashes straight into the organisational anxieties of those who still bear scars from Labour's factional wars. Corbyn's allies want to stop entryism and protect their hard-won new structure. They fear chaos, she fears control, she also feels patronised. The phrase sexist boys club didn't emerge from nowhere. It spoke to her sense of being shut out of decision-making while others claimed her project as theirs. It's telling that she accuses not Corbyn but people around him. That's a familiar story. The charismatic leader publicly calls for unity while gatekeepers quietly settle scores and decide who counts as loyal. Sultana refuses to be cast in the role of ornamental co-founder. She wants equal ownership and she's willing to fight for it. And the clash of styles is fascinating. Jeremy Corbyn is the old romantic of socialism. He trusts rallies, speeches, and the warmth of personal loyalty. He detests bureaucracy in theory, yet's always relied on loyal bureaucrats to protect him. Sultana is of a younger digital left. She knows the value of member data, online organising, rapid mobilisation. Her unauthorised membership launch and the money that came with it was a flex of power. It proved she could build something without permission. It also terrified the Corbyn circle, and that moment still poisons the well. The expulsions over links to other left groups triggered today's standoff, yet they only make sense when seen as a response to that earlier challenge. Each camp is convinced the other is trying to seize the steering wheel. The optics are dreadful. A founding conference framed as Unity Day began with the co-leader refusing to walk through the door and the other refusing to call her a friend. Meanwhile, MPs are quietly quitting, supporters are being banned, and the press is reporting farce rather than renewal. If Nigel Farage and the Conservatives wanted to argue that the left is incapable of governing, then this gives them an easy opportunity. Still, Sultana is right on one key point. A movement that begins by policing the front gate will never grow. The British left has been defined too often by exclusion and moral purity tests. Socialists love to split. There's always a truer believer waiting to form a smaller and even purer sect. If your party falls into that trap, it will die before the first ballot paper has the chance to be printed. Corbyn's also right on one key point. Division kills movements. A party that projects chaos will not command trust. His warning that unity is the foundation of political strength is unarguable. So what happens next? Sultana will return to the hall to give her speech. It'll be a test of whether she wishes to lead or merely criticise. Corbyn must decide whether he wants to co-own this project or dominate it by default. Both must decide whether personal pride is more important than the ambition they claim to serve. And this is a moment launched, I suppose, in hope. What should we call it? The hope of the left. Sinister hope. To survive, it must learn to argue in private and persuade in public. And today felt like a student union quarrel on national television. Tomorrow needs to look like a grown party that knows what it's for. If they can resolve the clash between grassroots democracy and organisational coherence, they might yet build something serious. If they cannot, they should be enlisting recent president-elects of the Oxford Union to help them out. Your party will become yesterday's party before it's properly even begun to get off the ground.